Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Rich Tarani here. Thanks for watching us today. We're at Interop 2012 in Las Vegas, Nevada. On our show is Michael Hayes. He's the president of Application Delivery Controller Company, Coyote Point Systems. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rich. How are you today?
Great, great. I wanted to start out by asking about how the application delivery network space changes have affected your business.
Well, it's been pretty interesting. You know, at the core of everything in every business that we talk about, I like to say it's all about the application. You know, businesses run. They've got their field teams. They've got customers that they need to interact with, and it's constantly about how do they get them in touch with their applications to fulfill either business processes, order flow, communications, etc. You know, in the scope of that, you know, the delivery of that application is really what we are a part of, and that's the application delivery network. The components of that application delivery network being your application delivery controller, or more generic term, load balancer, your WAN optimization controllers, and also your web application firewalls. Those three pieces of the business you're starting to see a little bit of convergence. Certainly the Riverbed deal recently, purchasing Zeus is one. If you look at some of the larger players in the marketplace like F5, they've got WAN solutions, they've got WAF solutions, they've got an ADC solution. I think what's interesting at this point in time is that there are a number of still best-of-breed single-point solution providers in the WAF space, like perhaps your Impervers or your WatchGuards, et cetera. You've got, you know, in the WAN side, you've got certainly Silver Peak and Xinda and a few other companies, and of course on the ADC side, you've got companies like Coyote Point and a few other players. Radware would be another public company that would be also more in line with a single play than the broader one. I think that over time you're going to see somewhat little what Riverbed has done, where they've purchased Zeus, which was an ADC to complement their WAN line. You'll see a certain amount of convergence in that marketplace. And when you really look at the size of the combined marketplace of the application delivery network, it's a multi-billion-dollar annual number. You know, just the WAN and the ADC piece is, you know, probably close to $3 billion a year, and those businesses are growing at close to 14% a year. So there's a pretty compelling case from a broader business sense that you'll probably see some continued convergence in the business.
Makes sense.
You know, as far as for Coyote Point, it's sort of broadened our horizon. I mean, we are one of the integral parts within that network. You know, our ADC controller and our global server load balancing solutions have continued to evolve over the past 12 years. And, you know, we've been speaking about the release of OS 10. Earlier, you know, last year we first spoke about it here on TCNet. Recently, we've rolled out our virtual load balancer, Equalizer on demand. So those pieces, as you go more and more in the software, also make you an attractive candidate within this whole convergence play, because it allows you to integrate into other platforms. I think when you look at other solutions out there also, so many of the vendors are focusing more on software than they are on hardware. Although at very high-end performance measures, you need to have a certain amount of hardware acceleration going on.
So our last interview, like you had mentioned, we had talked with Bill Kish, your CTO, about EQOS 10, and I'm wondering, now that you've actually released it, what's it done for you? And first, describe it for us, please, and then tell us what's it done for you.
Well, OS 10 was a re-architecture of the complete Equalizer platform from the software side. It was a shift from FreeBSD to NetBSD operating platform. That's going to give us a certain amount of flexibility as far as our coding ability. We'll be able to architect more complex solutions and bring more flexibility into how we program, so that we can tailor feature sets for certain verticals, like the hosting environment, education environment, things like that. In addition to that, OS 10, because of we historically have never been able to leverage on the old operating platform, the multi-core environment. It's going to give us the ability to leverage multi-core environment now, which will again, you know, increase the performance and also other features that we can bring in. We'll be able to maybe not have hardware acceleration, as a NIC card. We may be able to bring it in as software and run it on a separate core. That brings efficiencies within the hardware platform that bring better performance combined with lower cost of goods sold, increasing our profit margins and things like that as a business. It will also allow us to maybe compression more effectively instead of using a NIC card going to compression in software, also running it on a separate cord. Architecturally also, we've been looking at a couple of WAF solutions that we've been considering maybe licensing a WAF solution and bringing it into the platform also on a licensed basis. So the flexibility you get out of OS 10 is pretty significant. How it's impacted us recently, just last night we were awarded the Network Products Guide Best Application Delivery Solution.
Congratulations.
So that was a nice recognition for all the hard work that our engineers and our product team have done over the last year or so. In conjunction with that, you'll see us focus more effectively in certain verticals, certainly within the cloud environment, hosting environment. As more and more things move off into the cloud and they're storing their application in the cloud, OS 10 is going to allow us to bring feature sets in there. One of the things that's rapidly under developing right now is more automation, so that when you're in the cloud, it's going to be much more easy to spin up. It'll be easier to automate processes and replicate what we're doing within the cloud, whether it be with the virtual machines or us with our VLB solution being able to then replicate virtual machines or servers behind us that we can then load balance accordingly. So it's a significant game changer for Coyote Point as a company.
Sounds like it. So with all that flexibility, the question which naturally comes to mind is what's next?
Well, we are looking at a much more robust, a couple things are what's next. We are looking at a more robust geographic load balancing solution. Historically, the Envoy product, which is our GSLB product, has always resided on the physical hardware of an equalizer. Our first move on that is to move that out so that it can be a standalone Envoy and really run in almost any environment in front of any ADC or DNS solution. It's not a complete full DNS solution initially, but we're looking to move it towards that direction. We'd also be able to run it on a hardware platform, or we will also virtualize it. And most likely that solution will play very, very well as a virtualized machine. In addition to that, we're in the process right now of planning a whole new hardware refresh. So we're coming out with a broader line of product as far as the Equalizer solution. We'll be pushing
broader high end and low end?
Both ends. We've got our 4 units in the middle. We're going to put 2 on either end.
Okay.
Is what we're thinking of doing. Certainly, a lot of interest is going upstream into the higher end.
Sure.
The architecture of OS 10 enables us to really address large enterprise needs more effectively. So the need to have a significant multi-gig solution is really coming into play within the Coyote Point product line. From a historical standpoint, we have often played mostly in that mid-market to small to medium-sized enterprise. A lot of the automation feature set, multi-tenant type of capability is going to allow us really to expand in the large enterprise, and by bringing in a 10 gig type platform, something that's going to do significant throughput, is going to give us that flexibility to really address the larger market.
Very exciting. I hope you come back and share with us the future when a lot of these things take place and happen, and the future events. We'll talk some more.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.